Welcome to Mid-Cap Masala right here on ET Now. But before we get to the management and we talk more about some of these buzzing counters, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to, because yes, of course, it's once again a good day coming in for the markets, but overall we are off the day's highest point. That's the case for Nifty 50 as well as for the Bank Nifty and even the broader end of the market, but we can't complain much given the fact that the breadth of the market is quite cheerful as we speak right now. A lot of these pockets are doing well. Yes, of course, with respect to the sectoral gainers, is the metal pack that is leading the pack, from not just the large cap movers like Hindalco, Tata Steel, some of these other counters like Hindustan Copper, Hindustan Zinc, MOIL. These stocks are perking up good gains right now. Other than that, what's doing well is select pharma counters and select chemical counters like Navin Fluorine and SRF, and even stocks like Bharat Rasayan. They are holding up quite smartly in today's trading session. So good gains across the board is what we are getting to see. But is this recovery is going to stay in the times going ahead is something that we will be watching out for. But let's get started onto the show and let's start having good conversations with our managements. And let me welcome the first management onto the show. And we are inviting Sanghvi Movers Management onto the show because they have actually gone ahead and having a partnership with ACE to supply Elevate 2030. They have come out with a vision as well. And let's deep dive more into the company's growth outlook going ahead. And let me welcome Mr. Rishi Sanghvi, who's the MD of Sanghvi Movers, joining us right now. Hi Rishi, good morning and great to have you onto the show. Firstly, let's talk about your latest MOU with ACE. Now tell us more about the scope of this partnership. What is expected timeline to induct the first batch of ACE heavy cranes? Give us some sense there.
Hi, good morning and thank you for having me on your show, Sneha and Srishti. So, you know, we are the largest crane rental company in India, Asia, and the fifth largest in the world. And ACE is the largest crane manufacturer in India. So we are both Indian companies who are looking to deploy Make in India cranes to build India's infrastructure. We expect the first heavy slew crane to be deployed in the next financial year. And I'm working closely with Saurabh to ensure that we can start building the nation's infrastructure using cranes produced in India and deployed by an Indian crane rental company.
Okay, so that sounds good. Also help us understand, Rishi, how does this ACE partnership fit into your Elevate 2030 vision? And based on that, what percentage of your future fleet expansion will now shift to indigenous cranes versus imported equipment?
So Elevate 2030 is our 5-year strategic vision, and it talks about multiple things regarding customer centricity, regarding serving the nation's need for construction equipment, regarding expanding globally and offering our Indian crane rental services across the globe. So by partnering with ACE, we really believe that we will be able to start building the nation's infrastructure and servicing on time all the country's requirements for construction equipment, especially those that are manufactured in India rather than depending on imported equipment. Going forward, we believe that a substantial portion of our fleet will be represented by through ACE equipments, and as they are able to produce higher tonnage cranes, this percentage will go up substantially. Also, we look forward to exporting these ACE manufactured cranes in India to different countries in the world, thereby taking an Indian product with an Indian service provider global.
That's quite interesting. But Rishi, have you set any target? How do you see the export contribution improving or rather increasing going ahead? And one of the other triggers is, of course, this ACE partnership. You just talked about it. Give us some sense there. Which markets are you targeting? How do you see the overall contribution going up as well?
So currently we have expanded our services to Saudi Arabia. And we will have 55 cranes on the ground in Saudi Arabia. We are planning to invest anywhere between $80 to $100 million in Saudi Arabia. And it is our stated ambition to become one of the top 3 crane rental players in Saudi Arabia and further in the GCC region. as ACE scales up its production and the product is proves itself in the Indian market, eventually we will be able to export some of these equipments to the GCC region.
So that sounds good. And Rishi, tell us on the back of this tie-up that you've done with ACE now that you have access to more indigenous equipment, or you will in the near future, on the back of that, are you going to be raising your order book guidance? Where does the order book stand, and have you made any changes to your outlook?
So for this year, which is March FY26, we are sitting on an order book of 1,200 crores, which is deliverable in this financial year. Going forward, we believe that next year will look better than FY26-27 will look better than the current financial year. And as a general practice, we don't give forward guidance, but we do believe that using indigenously manufactured cranes will give us a slight competitive advantage, especially as it aligns with the Honorable Prime Minister's Make in India mission.
All right, but Rishi, also talk to us about your Capex plans as well, because for your company, I clearly remember that with respect to the stock price, it was a sort of a re-rating, especially after COVID, the kind of infrastructure boom that was there, and how you have also done well in terms of improving the positioning of your balance sheet performance. Now that you are once again in a growing spree, you have come out with a 2030 vision. How do you plan your future Capex? And I also see that your long-term borrowings are also seen to be increasing a bit on a YOY basis. So how are you planning to manage that?
Yes. So this year we will be doing, the board has approved to do a 630 crore capex. And this is primarily because the DGTR has put an anti-dumping duty on, or will announce an anti-dumping duty against certain Chinese manufacturers of cranes. So there is a twofold demand from cranes. One, the economy is doing well. There is a tremendous demand of cranes coming from all infrastructure sectors. And secondly, we are gearing up in order to make the best of it prior to the anti-dumping duty. So this year we will do 630 crores of capex. We still maintain a very healthy debt to equity ratio, and we have a very strong treasury where we have, through the previous years, we have been able to generate surplus cash. So our treasury today is sitting on approximately 200 to 250 crores of surplus cash. And by using a prudent mix of debt, equity, by monitoring our debt to equity ratio, by making use of our treasury, and by using indigenously manufactured cranes, I think we will have a sustainable capex plan going forward towards Elevate 2030.
Okay, Rishi, that sounds good. Thank you so much for sharing with us your future outlook and the contours of this MOU with ACE. On that note, we'll let you go. Thanks once again.
Thank you.
Okay, viewers, with that, time to slip into a very short break on this edition of Midcap Masala. On the other side, we'll be talking to Philatex when we return, so stay tuned.